Hey guys, my name is Grace and welcome to Grace Adventures. So on January 19th, Universal Orlando just announced their new roller coaster opening in 2027 called Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. This is replacing Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, a roller coaster that closed in August of 2025. With this new roller coaster being announced, I actually posted on my Instagram story that I did not feel as hyped for this coaster as I should be. And it's not like I didn't want to be hyped. I got a lot of people in my DMs like feeling the exact same way. But I feel like there are a couple of factors of why people are a little upset about this announcement. I think the biggest reasons of why people feel a little let down about this announcement is one, the theme chosen for this roller coaster, and two, the name choice for it. Firstly, I think the coaster track is going to be pretty awesome. It's manufactured by Intamin, and Intamin usually produces really good rides. Like they manufactured Velocicoaster, and they also manufactured Hagrid's at Island of Adventure. So some of the information that we got about this ride is that there's going to be a sensation of a 360-degree drift, and there's also going to be a 170-foot vertical spike that will send riders nearly 17 stories in the air over the outskirts of Universal City Walk. Universal also has another spinning coaster in their park called Curse of the Werewolf at Epic Universe, manufactured by Mack Rides. So this will be something very innovative coming from Intamin. I'm very excited to see how they're gonna make this happen. And we've already seen it happen at the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift coaster coming to Universal Studios Hollywood. What they're doing in Universal Studios Hollywood is pretty much gonna be the exact same as what they're gonna produce at Universal Orlando, but we'll get to the Universal Hollywood coaster a bit later in the video. The only worrisome thing for me is the capacity of this ride, but if it's gonna be anything like Tortatus, I think the capacity will be decent because that coaster has a capacity of 1,260 riders per hour. With a top hat and a switch track, I think there could at least be 3 trains on the track at once and have a pretty decent capacity, like with Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. I mean, we even see a spike on Hagrid, and Hagrid has a pretty decent capacity as well. So I have hope that the capacity for this ride will be, it'll be okay, it'll be decent. I trust. Even though I don't love the theming for this ride, I feel like there could have been a more unique name for it. This coaster also has the exact same name as a new roller coaster coming to Universal Hollywood, and that one is opening later this year. To me, it feels a bit lazy, but one person told me they could have kept it as Hollywood Drift as a tribute to Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. Or maybe they thought since Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit has the word Hollywood in it, they thought it would just be okay just to leave it in again. I get it, but I don't, because this is also in the New York section of the park, and this would have been the coaster to redeem taking the word Hollywood out of the name. Even Silver Dollar City made fun of this, so make it make sense. But I still feel like it could have been a little bit more personable, especially as a Floridian, even if it was called Orlando Drift. That would still distinguish that each coaster track at the Universal Orlando and Hollywood parks are different, because they are. And I'm not saying like it had to be Orlando Drift, just something that wasn't Hollywood Drift. The cool thing is the Orlando coaster is not an exact replica of the one in the Hollywood park. So I'm glad both will have different ride experiences. The theming for this ride is not what a lot of people expected or wanted. I will say personally, I wanted it to be either Ghostbusters or Back to the Future. Without my personal opinion here, I actually thought that the roller coaster was going to be themed to the Ghostbusters. There were, and I think they are still there, some Easter eggs outside of the Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters with the green construction walls up. And to me, it felt like that they were pointing to a Ghostbusters themed roller coaster. Unfortunately, I can see why Fast and Furious was the most ideal thematic choice for the roller coaster rather than Ghostbusters or Back to the Future. I can still see Ghostbusters or Back to the Future as being future dark rides though. Back to the Future, the ride attraction at Universal Orlando, was replaced by The Simpsons, and the Ghostbusters Spooktacular was a sit-down show that closed in 1996, replaced by Twister Ride It Out, and then Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon. And the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket coaster track actually went through the old Ghostbusters headquarters. I think Universal is slowly trying to bring these IPs back into the park to turn them into actual permanent attractions. They have been scattered throughout the park, like there is a Back to the Future DeLorean, and I think sometimes Doc is there for a meet and greet near the Simpsons ride. And the Ghostbusters had a house during Halloween Horror Nights one year. They also both had a float during the Mega Movie Parade, so both IPs are still very active and popular in this park. Anyways, so sorry about that nerd yapping. So I think the reason they themed this coaster to Fast and Furious is because of Fast and Furious Supercharged. Well, on top of Universal announcing this new roller coaster, they also announced that Fast and Furious Supercharged is closing in 2027, just in time for this new roller coaster to open. I wonder why. If y'all have ever rode Supercharged, it's bad, it's horrid, and it's probably one of the worst dark rides that ever exist. Universal, the actual movie production company, actually owns Fast and Furious, and if they were to, for example, theme the coaster to Ghostbusters, they'd most likely have to pay Sony a fee for its licensing. Fast and Furious is also Universal's biggest franchise, earning over $7 billion in revenue for the whole series. So it's probably just cheap to theme this coaster to Fast and Furious, and while doing that, they're getting rid of one of the worst dark rides they've ever made. Another thing that I'm worried about is the storytelling aspect of this ride. The queue line and the pre-show for Supercharged is cool, but it's better than the actual ride itself. And I bet the queue line for Hollywood Drift is gonna be close to the exact same as what Supercharged is now, which is like, it's okay. It's not too extravagant and immersive like how Revenge of the Mummy is or Men in Black is. It's pretty much just cars and car parts, and I feel like if you're in the cars, you'll definitely like it. But it's kind of just, it's like, it's bland, it's kind of boring, I'm so sorry. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the Fast and Furious movies. One time I went to go, and I think it was like the 9th movie in the franchise, where the car went to space. That's the one I went to go watch. But I didn't even see it because within the first 20 minutes of the movie, we just walked out. I'm not gonna lie, the storytelling for that movie was boring and again bland, and the action with the cars did not make up for it. And what, there's over 10 movies, and it's like this is like Universal's MCU where they just keep milking out the franchise. And I'm so sorry for those who actually like watching the movies, but I just had to bring that up because these movies are going to reflect on how the ride experience is, where it starts from the name to the queue line and even to the roller coaster itself. Overall, I think this coaster track has the potential to be very impressive, especially with the small footprint Universal has to work with. But I highly dislike how almost everyone's first impression of this ride was that this felt like it was going to be another carbon copy from the roller coaster opening at Universal Hollywood. I don't know why, but I'm not a huge fan of carbon copies at the parks. I like unique ride experiences down to the theming, and I like to see how parks can get creative in their own ways. This just does not feel as creative as I've seen Universal get. I'm not saying it's gonna suck because it has the exact same name, but I think people just wanted something more innovative than Fast and Furious. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket was such a unique ride experience, and I loved how even back then, they had to work with what they had and create something original, even with all the hate that I've received. I mean, you literally get to choose your own song when you ride the dang roller coaster. I'm also kind of sad that I won't ever be able to scream to Secret Song 124 again, but you know, it'd be like that. Well guys, that's all I have to yap about. Let me know if you guys are excited about this roller coaster or not. Comment it below because I would love to hear your thoughts. And thank you guys for watching Grace Adventures, where every day is a ride, and may your next adventure be epic.